Hello there. I thought I'd pop in to remind you of a super important, life-changing truth. You matter. So I hope over the course of your study this week, you came to understand just how much you matter to God and how much your life matters in this world. You are significant, you are valid, you are seen, and you are heard. Even if you don't feel like anyone else is paying attention, God most definitely is. Let's open with a reminder straight from the mouth of Jesus. In Matthew 10:29-31, he says, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father's knowledge? But even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Therefore, fear not, you are of more value than many sparrows." Wow, I would say that's some solid proof as to how much you and I matter to God. He took the time to count the number of hairs on our head. And if he's paying attention to such small detail, I believe that there's nothing going on in our lives that he's not aware of. He sees our struggles, he feels our pain, and he celebrates our joys with us. Besides numbering the hairs on our head, every single one of our tears has also been counted. God keeps track of all the things that keep us awake at night and all of the times our mind wanders from him and onto our worries. David was a man devoted to God, and here is what he wrote in Psalm 56:8. "You have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book?" David wrote this thousands of years ago, and it was recorded in the Bible for us to read and take comfort from today. God's word never goes out of style, it always applies. Our study this week covered a few different individuals and their encounters with God. So today we're going to focus on Hagar though. And from Hagar, we learned that an awareness of 2 very significant things can drastically impact the direction of our lives. First, an awareness of God's presence changes everything. God can be watching over us all day long, but it only affects our lives when we realize he's right beside us and he's been there all along. Hagar's situation didn't change, but her confidence surely did. One minute, she was running away from everyone and everything, ready to give up, wandering aimlessly and hopelessly in the desert. The next second, she encountered God and embraced the hope that he offers. Once she saw the God who sees her, she was able to face her life and her difficulties head on. She was filled with confidence and assurance that she was not left on her own. Although God had her go back to the place that she'd just run from, she drew strength in knowing that the Lord was with her, that he would defend her and strengthen her, and he would comfort her when she did feel alone. Hagar depended on the presence of the Lord to get her through. But years later, she found herself in the desert again, not because she ran away, but this time because she was cast away and discarded along with her precious son. She saw no way out, she saw no hope or water to sustain them. Her grief and desperate situation overtook her and obscured her vision. Previously, she had seen God with her very own eyes, and now her eyes were blurred with extreme sorrow. But here again, the Lord intervened. He called her by name and said, "Do not be afraid." He reassured her that he had heard their sobs. He opened Hagar's weary eyes to the blessings he'd provided right beside her. Now her eyes were open not just to the fact that God was with her and sees her, but her eyes were open to the blessings that surrounded her even in the desert place. He showed her that a well of water that she hadn't noticed before was bubbling up within her reach, ready to refresh, revive, and restore not just her body, but also her worn-out soul. We all have times that we too need to be reminded that God sees us and that he's completely aware of everything we're going through. We need reassurance that he's not forgotten us or abandoned us in our time of need. And like Hagar, we need God to open our eyes to the blessings, provisions, and even people he's placed within our reach. Far too often, we lose focus of God and forget to count our blessings. Life takes a drastic turn for the worse anytime we allow ourselves to be engulfed with worry or become overwrought and grief-stricken or become paralyzed with fear. Far too often, we move the Lord to the rearview mirror while our troubles take the driver's seat. This is no way to live and will ultimately drive us headlong into a life-threatening crash. Hagar's life would have looked so tragically different if her eyes had not been open to the presence of the Lord and his abundant blessings. And our life would look so different without this realization too. God didn't save us just so he could abandon us. He saved us because he loves us, and he saved us so that we'd never have to be alone and he would be with us forever. Deuteronomy 31:8 says, "It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed." Throughout our chapter, we learned that there is no place we can go that God will not search us out and find us. We cannot outrun him. We cannot hide from him. We cannot escape his pursuing love. Psalm 139, 1 through 12, yes, I'm going to read the whole thing, says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You hem me in behind and before and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit, or where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is bright as day. The darkness is as light with you." This beautiful psalm was also written by David, a man who went from shepherd boy to mighty warrior to king of Israel. He went from the field to the battlefield to the throne, and God never left him or forsook him along the way. And he will never leave you or forsake you. You are the beloved daughter of the Almighty Father. From the womb to wherever you are now, God has been with you every second. Whatever you've gone through in the past, whatever you're going through now, whatever you'll face in the future, find strength and confidence in knowing that God was, is, and will be with you. You can call on God and cry out to him anytime from anywhere, and he will definitely answer. In Psalm 138:3, we read the words, "On the day I called you, the very day I called you, you answered me. My strength of soul you increased." Psalm 145:18 plainly states, "The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth." I pray that these verses bring additional consolation to your heart. I pray that they encourage you to keep pursuing the Lord and remind you that he is constantly pursuing you. I pray that this chapter has reinforced how valuable you are to God and how greatly you matter. And now I hope that the follow-up chapter titled "You Are Beautiful" blesses you as well. So I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless. You matter, and I want you to take care. Bye-bye.